Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers, connecting with makers from all around the world. Here's your hosts, Jamie Page, Chris Cute, and now, Richard Morley.
Hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is. As we just said, Richard is out this week. So with joining me this week is Mr. Chris Cute.
How you doing?
Mr. Andy Hill.
How you doing?
And the guest with the best, Scott, the Bluelight Turner.
How you doing?
So yeah, that's everyone here for today. I'm gonna do it a little bit different to what Richard does. I'm gonna get the sponsors out of the way right at the start of the show because they are awesome. So the podcast today is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grit, the Wood Turner's Abrasive Paste, our good friend Chad over at Mancrafting, who makes those awesome powder coated custom Yeti mugs, Pam from Highland Boxes and her amazing resin hybrid blanks, and Steve from Harnell Media, who takes all my credit for doing all the websites. All links to the sponsors in the description can be found over our webpage at makersinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. Chris, do we have any random listener questions?
We do, Jamie, but honestly, they're all directed directly at Scott. So, I mean, if you don't mind, I'd like to reserve them until after we've got to know Scott a little bit.
Yeah, no worries. So let's kind of go a bit old school when we had Alan on the show. When we had Alan on the show, Alan's first question was kind of a I forget how he put it now. It was like let's just come out and say it. So what got you into making?
The origin story.
Yeah, that's it.
The origin story, yeah. So I'd always potted around making bits here and there, birdhouses, you get like the 4 bits of wood, nail it together and bits and pieces. Then end of 2012, I got diagnosed with PTSD. Really screwed me up, and the doctor said I needed a hobby. And I thought, I know, drunk one New Year's Eve, let's go buy a lathe, let's buy a set of tools, let's watch YouTube, and let's teach myself to turn. So after buying the biggest pile of rubbish I've ever bought, and thinking I was really good at it, I spent hours sanding. I then a square bowl,
I know
bowls that we all did. Did when we starting on the 60 grit. Then I joined the West Sussex Wood Turning Club, and I got a mentor there, Keith. He come round to my shop, told me to throw what I had in the bin, and taught me how to use proper tools, a proper lathe, and the rest is history. Most of my days off now spent in the workshop. If I have a particularly bad day at work, I come home, just chuck something on the lathe, a spindle blank that's rubbish, and I'll just make a mess with the roughing gouge. And I'll go indoors and it's like, I feel better now.
You kind of feel all of the stress just running out through the tool, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, Scott, I'm gonna be the nosy Nelly in the group, and you don't have to go into this any further than you want to. But I don't know how it is in the UK or in Europe, but I mean, when somebody mentions that they had PTSD, I automatically associate it to somebody that was in the military, but that's just not correct, and I understand that. Was that PTSD part of something that happened to you because of your work, or
yes? So
okay.
At the time, so I'm a technician with the ambulance service. At the time, I was training a new technician and that had done the training, but was still what we class as a trainee.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to do 750 hours mentored. I was mentoring this guy. I don't know how he got through the course, quite honestly. But over the space of 4 or 5 months, I did 4 really horrific jobs.
No, I can understand. You don't have to go into it,
Yeah.
Scott, if you don't want to. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's not a problem, Chris. Do you know what? At the time, I ended up with PTSD because I wouldn't talk about it. I thought it was wrong for a man to cry. I thought it was wrong for a man to express himself. And it wasn't until this has been going on for probably a year. And it took my wife saying, "You've got something wrong. You need to see the doctor. Otherwise, me and the kids are leaving."
Oy.
So I went down to the doctors. They said I had depression. Put me on all the happy tablets that they do. That didn't improve things. I was still like Jekyll and Hyde. And it wasn't until I paid privately to see a psychotherapist, I think she was called. And it wasn't until I actually started talking about it and opening up that it's like stuff started to lift off my shoulders. And I went through some therapy, and she said she was going to try. I don't know, people know about that, but it's called EMDR, so eye movement desensitization or something. And you literally follow her finger while she talks to you. And I was trying this, and I was like, "This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work." And then it was like after 5 or 6 sessions, it was gone. It was like, what happened there? But
Awesome.
yeah,
and more people. Well, and the only reason that I even asked that question, Scott, was because more people suffer from that than people know, and because, like you said, it makes you want to shut up and not do anything about it. But what you ended up doing was you picked up a hobby, and it also helped you clear your mind, because I think a lot of us, and we've talked about this in the podcast before in the past, because I had nowhere near the kind of traumatization that you went through, but I mean, just my normal work week was a trauma, and I had one day off, and I needed to get my head out of that game, and if I didn't get my head out of that game, I was going to go mental. I really was. And so that's how I picked up woodworking when I was very, very young. So it's obviously nothing to be ashamed about. It's just, it happens to more people than than most people ever will admit. And you know what? I think it's awesome that you turned it into a craft, because that's just cool as hell. And you've only been doing it for what, like 4 years?
Coming up 5 years this year, or 4.5 years this year.
That's awesome.
And it's gone bigger than I ever imagined. You know, I thought I was going to be Scott, the wood turner that goes to the club on a Sunday with all the old guys, occasionally volunteers down at the museum. Never intended on doing YouTube, but thought I'd give it a go to cover for someone. And do you know what? It's just gone nuts.
Yeah.
I said to the kids tonight, I went, "I'm on an international podcast. I'll say goodnight to you now." They're like, "Whoa."
Well, it's awesome. And you know what? I've seen the work that you do, and you do great work, my friend. I mean, especially only, going on 5 years into the craft, and people may think 5 years. I'm like, God, that's a freaking commitment. But you know what? No, it's not. It's actually just, we're just getting started. I mean, we could talk to Andy over here about carving. And I'm sure that if I said, "Hey, Andy, in a year, when you first started, could you carve, a samurai?" He'd look at me and go, "No," because it takes a few more years than that.
It takes a lot of years to be able to carve something like that. You've got the years of learning how a figure stands, how a figure moves, how its observation, something that
and perspective.
You can't learn it.
Yeah, because I used to carve things, Andy, and I'll be really honest with you. I used to carve things, and I used to be really happy with my carvings, but every single one of them, if I had pictures, I would show you, and you would laugh. Either the head was very, very small and out of proportion, or I had like these big arms coming out of this little. I could never get the perspective right. I never practiced the art enough to do it correctly, and obviously that takes time. And that's what I was talking to Scott about, because it takes time to do what you're doing.
It's time on the tools as well.
Yeah.
When I started with my best mate. And you look at us now, the same amount of time down the line, I've had far much more time on the tools, and I'm knocking out some really nice bits, and trying new stuff, not just doing bowls. I'm trying to do projects. Whereas you look at the guy that started with me at the same time, doesn't have as much time on the tools, and you look at some of his stuff and you think, what have we done different?
There you go.
It's practice. And I'm, there's tools that I'm still not good at. I brought the hollowing system. I can't hollow to save my life at the moment. All I keep doing is coming through the side of stuff.
Oh, so
you thought about investing in some calipers?
Yeah, I've tried calipers. I've tried my fingers, but
You know what always gets you? I tell you what, and I don't know if this is true on every tool, but especially on the lathe. And look, I'm a novice compared to you, Scott, and Jamie as well. And Andy, I don't know if you turn or not, but I am definitely what you would consider a novice. I don't pretend to be anything more than I am. But what I've always noticed is that when you're turning on something and you've got it down to where you want it to be, and you kind of look at it and go, I just need that one more cut. It's always that one more cut that screws you. I mean, you really need to learn to leave things alone at some point in time.
That one last cut has hit me one too many times.
Oh, look, I've joined the funnel club.
Yeah, but I think that actually covers all disciplines. Not just turning. I think one more cut can damage a scroll saw piece.
Oh, absolutely.
Destroy a sculpture. Like literally, I could take the fin off one of the sculptures that I'm doing quite easily because of the grain. It's just that fraction of a little touch, and you never know. Often best to leave it.
Yeah. But Scott, like you were talking about when you were starting in the beginning, when you're thinking about that one more cut, maybe it's time to think about that 60 grit once more. Instead of that one more cut.
I'm not going to lie. I've still got some.
Oh boy.
I thought he pulled them out of his pocket then. It's like some people walk around with Band-Aids, he walks around with a pack of 60 grit.
Well, Scott, we've talked about what got you going, but I mean, my friend, let's get to know you. Because I mean, honestly, I know you, but I don't really know you. We've talked, and that's about it. What do you do for a living? What is your your 9 to 5 that you escape from in your workshop?
I wish it was 9 to 5.
So I'm all right. What is your 9 to 9 that you escape from in your workshop?
I'm an ambulance technician for London Ambulance Service. So I work on the front line in the nation's capital.
In London.
Right.
In London. In London. In London. Okay.
All right. I'm more on the outskirts. Very occasionally do I get right in the centre. If I get right in the centre, something's gone wrong. But it says London on the side of the ambulance, so we can go anywhere during the day. We start at the same place, and finish at the same place. Where we go in that 12 hours, that 10 hours, just every day's different, and that's why I love the job. When I left school, I trained as an apprentice electrician. When you're young, the boss, I got a written warning from the boss for having a slovenly, lazy attitude.
Sounds familiar.
It's crazy, right? So it all started, I was at a customer's house, and all electricians walk around with their tools in their back pockets, didn't they? Their screwdrivers sticking out of their back pockets. And I changed the light switch, and I was down on my hands and knees, sweeping up the rubbish. And as I stood up, I caught the customer's leather sofa. I was like, oh my days. So I said to the customer, I went, I'll pay for it. I've damaged it. It's my fault. We'll sort out getting it repaired. Rung the boss straight away. He went, you don't have to pay for it. The company insurance do for it. And I thought that was the end of it. And then he meets me on site with a written warning saying that the customer said I had a slovenly, lazy attitude. Well, why was I on the floor cleaning up? If I was lazy, I would have just left it. So like you do when you're young, I told him what he could do with his job. Um,
Also sound familiar.
yeah. So I've been for, I did security. I looked after adults with learning disabilities. Fitted electric meters. I've had loads of jobs. But it wasn't until, and I fell into the ambulance service. I'd never intended to work full time in the ambulance service. I was out of work. I've got a wife and 4 kids. Need to support them, and I found an advert for doing patient transport. So picking up Mrs. Miggins, taking her to her hospital appointment, and then taking her home again.
Mm-hmm.
Easy, how hard can that be? And I did that for it's probably about 18 months. And really started to enjoy the job. You're meeting all different people, chatting about different lives, and I was quite nosy. You'd sit in the back, and you never know who you've got in the back, but you'd ask them, and they'd talk to you. And then I got the opportunity to do my blue light driving and become what we call an ECA, or over here was an ECA. So they literally a driver and a bag carrier. That role progressed.
First responder.
A little bit like a first responder. So I think you're in Kent, JP, so they call them ECSWs. But the role initially was to drive the ambulance and to carry the bags, and then you were with a technician or a paramedic. And they did all the medical stuff. You just lifted and shifted and helped them do that. So I did that. Then I got the chance to do my technician's course. And I love it. Every day's different. You'll have the boring, mundane days. You can have the days, especially with being on the front line with COVID. Cardiac arrest.
I have to imagine that is a. I don't want to say hectic because that would be the wrong word, but I want to say it's much like being in the military in the middle of a war. You're either succumbed by boredom or scared out of your pants, because stuff hits the fan, and then you've got to be there and you've got to be on point. But 90% of your time you're sitting there going, I'm kind of bored. But when that time comes and you get the call, you got to be there and you got to be on you got to be on point. And I've got to imagine that the past several months of the 2020 have had to have been kind of freaking crazy for you, my friend.
It's been really weird. So when the COVID thing first started, we were really busy, going to loads of people that had symptoms, taking people in that were really sick. And then it just sort of like all the people, we call them regular callers. So you get people that are called 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh, yeah.
And my first name terms and whatever.
There's hypochondriacs that always think that they're about ready to die, right?
All that dropped off. No one was calling. Bog standard call rates just disappeared because no one wanted to go near a hospital because hospital had people with COVID. So we went for a few weeks where we were going back to station, sitting on station, getting a couple hours sleep on a night shift. It was like, this has never happened in my career. But slowly now, lockdown's easing. It's starting to pick up. Cardiac arrest calls, as I said, they're going up. But yeah, it's been scary. It's changed my view on the job. It's changed. Like when I'd come home from work, I'd come straight in, give the missus a kiss, say hello to the kids. Now it's in. I don't even go in the house. I walk around the side of the house. We've got a utility room on the back room. I go in there. Everything comes off straight in the washing machine. Then I shower, and that's when I will start talking to people. Once I feel that I'm clean and I'm not a risk to them, that's when I'll start talking to the family.
Well, you're a good man. And you know what? I don't want to sound like, I'm placating you, but I mean, I do appreciate, even though I don't live in the UK, I appreciate your type of people like you that are out there doing that for us. And that kind of leads us into the second half of what we want to do today, because I understand a friend of yours lost his life.
Yeah. So one of my colleagues at our station, so I work out at quite a little small station. I think there's only about 20 of us on station. But Ian picked up COVID, spent 3 weeks in intensive care, and sadly lost the battle with it. Like a lot of COVID patients, he'd started to improve, and then the rapid decline. But he'd served 32 years in London as a paramedic. He was the lead paramedic for Crystal Palace Football Club. So a really nice guy. But yeah, through doing the job he loved, he lost his life.
That's sad. And I know that you've been kind of been the forebearer of a fund to help his family out, because obviously you can't take somebody like that out of a family and then all of a sudden expect everything to be fine and then not have people needing things. And so obviously his family needs some help. And so I know that you've been kind of spearheading a fundraiser for him. And tell us about that a little bit, and then we'll get to Jamie, because I know Jamie wants to help out with that today.
So that started off at work. You know, we set up a GoFundMe page so people at work could chip in to try and help his family. And originally we'd set the target at £1,000. We smashed that within, I don't know, a week and a bit. And I was sitting there, what can I do? Obviously, a family to support, I can't put a lot of money in. So I put a tenner in the fund.
Sure.
But I thought, what can I do that will help raise the fund? And there's a memorial ribbon over here that when someone from the ambulance service passes away, a lot of us will put it as our profile picture on social media. So there's a guy I know that makes pen blanks. So I said to Brett, I went, can you make me some of these blanks? So he knocked me up. I think it was 7 or 8 of each. So I did some of the ambulance memorial ribbon and some with the NHS thank you rainbow on. And I thought, I'll sell them, and the money from them can go to the fund. So I think it was about 10 of each. Took them in, sold them like that. Was taking orders. I think I'm up to about 60 now of each pen.
Whoa.
And I've just ordered another 20. I've just ordered another 20 of each blank because I've got orders for them. So I'm getting bored of pen turning.
That's awesome.
I like to use my hobby. Not only it gives me a bit of extra cash when I do craft fairs, but I like to use it to support good causes. So I sponsor a guide dog each month out of it. Last year I wanted to raise £400. My best friend's granddaughter is got multiple disabilities, wheelchair bound, no quality of life at all. And she goes to a special needs school, and they lent her, it's called an upsy. So it's like a harness that you wear. She then gets strapped into it. Her feet get strapped to your feet, and you support her weight, but she can walk with you. So the school give her one of these. Brilliant. Totally changed Lily's quality of life and how people interacted with Lily. The school then dropped the bombshell and went, oh yeah, you've tried it now. If you want one, you've got to buy it. Which, you know, both parents are full-time carers, didn't have the money to do it. So I thought, I'll try. In the end, I think we raised about £2,500 for Lily. So we bought her the upsy. Someone kindly donated her a holiday. Different companies from the makers community donated stuff. We auctioned them off, raffled them off. So she's had the upsy, a holiday. She's bought bits, and there's some extra money there that if Lily needs something, then she can get it.
She gets it. But I want to bring this back to your friend who lost his life to COVID, because I know that's currently the campaign you're looking to raise money on, because the family, and God love them, I mean, their loss. I mean, I don't know how I can really. I'm not going to try, but I know that they still could use some help, and you're looking to still raise some money from them. So Jamie, I know that you have a video coming out tonight, which I believe is a premiere.
No, the video is already out. I want to get that out. Yeah.
Well, then you sort it out for me. Then you take it from here, my friend, because
I released a video a couple of days ago showing how I made this. So it's basically a bowl with a hot glue melt and spirit stains method. So we're going to be auctioning this this bowl, platter, whatever you want off, and the money's obviously going to go to the Ian's memory crowdfunding page for Scott. That Scott has assisted everybody else in raising. I'm saying assisted everybody else because Scott refuses to take credit.
I won't take credit, Jamie. It's not me. You know, I mentioned it that I was doing that, and different people have come on board. I'll donate something. So I think Chris Fisher was the first one. We started off auctioning one of his bowls just for a laugh because someone kept saying in his comments, "How much for the bowl? How much for the bowl? How much for the bowl?" And we'd auctioned one of Wayne's pieces off. So we just started for a bit of fun, and then at the end of it. Chris and Nicola said, right, that's £70 we want to donate to Ian. And then everyone's got on board. So it's not me, it's the maker community.
No, Scott, I appreciate that. But I want to get something out of the way ahead of time because Jamie is going to auction off that bowl.
Yeah, I'm auctioning it off, but I've got to say that it's going to be staying in the UK. All bidding is done in pounds. So so it's going to be staying in the UK. So I'm just letting everyone know that. So unfortunately no international postage or anything like that. So all right.
So if you're going to bid in pounds and make sure that you are in the UK, because if you're in the US or I'm sorry, but a part of Europe, you're not eligible to make a bid.
It's quite a heavy chunk of sycamore right there.
And we have three bids.
3 bids already.
Wayne the Wood Turner bid 30, then Dale from Maple Tree Studios bid 50, then Wayne bid 55 for that bowl right now, and it's all going to that cause for Scott's friend whose family is now left without him. So if you want to place a bid, the current bid is £55 for that bowl that Jamie just showed you. So we would encourage you to continue bidding throughout the rest of the time we have today, and we've got about a half an hour to go. So.
Yeah, we'll keep it updated.
Yeah, because it's going to be done now live. I mean, when this comes out on Wednesday, the bidding is going to be over. So let's get it done now, and let's raise as much money as we can.
Yeah.
So go on, Scott.
Can I just say a massive thank you to everyone that has helped? So before we went live, I added up what we've made just from the auctions. I know people from the community have gone onto the Just Giving page and donated on there as well. But just from the auctions at the moment, as it stands, as a community, we've raised £988.
Oof.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well done, guys.
This is going to push it over to the 1,000.
And I've still got bowls to auction off on my lives.
Sorry, guys, it's gone up £60.
Yeah. And I know that Andy on one of his live streams he did a carving, or he was doing a carving live, but he was auctioning off a piece that he already made, and he made almost £100 off of that. So that's well done on that, Andy.
Thank you.
Emma the Tiny Turner did 340 quid in her live the other Saturday night. You know, staggering amount.
And that's a gorgeous bowl, Jamie. It really is. Turn that over so I can see I want to see the face of that, Jamie. Let me see the face of that again. I really like that.
Yeah, I want to have a go at it. Watching Jamie's video the other night, it's like people will tell you if you can stick it together. I do everything with my hot melt glue gun. I go through glue sticks like no tomorrow. All right, the winning bid right now is from Wayne the Wood Turner. He's bid £70 for that, Jamie. No, Chris Dragons.
Oh, Chris just upped it, said 75. That's awesome.
So much, guys.
So, Scott, obviously, you I don't think you mentioned that you was also in the police force as well.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we've been in the police force and the ambulance service. You must have come across some stories, let's say, that you've kind of got back to the office and turned around and says, "You ain't gonna believe what just happened."
Oh, all the time, all the time. So not long after I went front line, we got called. It come down as entrapment, but it give us a home address, and we're like, entrapment is usually an RTC, so a road traffic crash, and we're like,
all right, hold on. Emma from Mum Dragondale was the first one in. Sorry, Wayne. She's bid 85 pounds. Anyway, go ahead.
So we got to this address, and I was like, okay, entrapment. Perhaps it's a builder that's stuck under something, or perhaps it's someone that's an old lady that's fallen and stuck behind a bit of furniture. And we've gone in, and there's this really sheepish call from upstairs saying we're up here. So we've gone upstairs, and there's a couple in bed that had genital piercings. These piercings got stuck
see where this
together.
is going.
The only way we could get them to hospital was to lay them both on the bed together as they were in the bed at home and take them in like that. Everyone was in hysterics, couldn't keep a straight face. It was just, But then on the other side of it, I went to a 97-year-old guy digging in the garden. Fell over, split his head open on the shovel, and I said to him, at 97, what are you doing digging your garden? Get a gardener or something. And he went, do you know what I did, son? And I went, I haven't got a foggiest. He went, I was a rear gunner in the Dam Busters. He said, the bloody Jerry's didn't get me. He says, so the garden ain't going to get me either. And I thought, do you know what? Man.
If I was that guy, that's kind of how I'd feel too. Like, hell, if you didn't get me then, you're not getting me now.
So, yeah.
If I was going to be picked off, that would be when I should have been picked off. So this garden doesn't intimidate me a bit. Are you kidding me?
Nice.
As Jamie said, I was a special constable as well for 6 years. I did want to join the police force. So I volunteered to become a special constable. Did that for 6 years and then decided that it wasn't for me. But there was, as a special, you used to do a lot of events. So I went to one of these events that was like a family event. And people that there's CBBS, which is the kids channel over here, and there was a presenter on there called Chris, and he was there, and he said, I've never been handcuffed. Oh, okay then. So we handcuffed him, and then I had a picture with him. Come home, and I said to the missus, I went, you never guess who I handcuffed today? And she went, who? I went, Chris. Well, my boy at the time was like 2 or 3, so well into CBBS. He thought I'd arrested Chris and that he wouldn't be watching him again. He was in tears.
I would have kept that
I've still got the picture. It's funny.
I honestly wish I could say that I've never been handcuffed.
Same.
Unfortunately, if I said that, it would be a fat friggin' lie. But okay.
Yeah, same. Just not by the police.
No, by the police. Unfortunately, I mean, hey, I'd be handcuffed by any woman that wants to handcuff me. I mean,
Yeah. Don't stand so close.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Where's my wife? Hold on.
Whack.
Yeah.
Oh no, jeez.
I'm about to get knocked upside the friggin' head. Our bidding stands. Our bidding stands in your goal, Jamie. At
what the bid is £85 by Emma, in it.
By 85 pounds by Emma. So if anybody wants to up that bid, Jamie, show that bowl one more time, because we could use the money to raise for a family that obviously lost.
There's that's the feature of it right there.
So Wayne has just gone 86.
No.
Wayne's gone 86. Emma's 87. I think there's
Emma's
a bit more between Emma and Wayne going on here.
Emma and Wayne are going at it
so much.
I can hear Wayne's voice going, "Oh no, Emma! What you doing?"
No! Dale just stepped up. 90 pounds from Dale.
95. 95 from Chris.
90 pounds. 95 from Chris.
There's a fight between the Dragons and Dale and Wayne.
Yeah, You
You
know,
know what?
all this money is going to support Ian's wife and 2 sons that have been left behind.
You know what?
You know,
95. I don't know what 95 pounds equates to in the UK, but I know that 95 pounds is roughly about $130, $140 here in the US. And
So
that
at the
would,
moment, it's $118.
well, I mean, typically that would buy a week's worth of groceries for me. You know, I could get by with $118, $120 at the grocery store and feed both my wife and I. So you know what? If it comes down to thinking about it that way, then you know what? You're giving a week's worth of life to a family. So, you know, and that's, you know.
Yeah.
Emma just hit
100.
100.
She just spanked her
Nice.
husband. How's
Thank
that?
you, Emma.
Wayne just said, FFS, I'm a pensioner.
Wayne, God love you. Emma, you're
Oh.
currently the leader at 100 pounds.
Very nice. Very nice.
Chris,
And
that's well said. Chris, that's well said.
Yep.
He's one of our own,
Yep.
Scott. He deserves this.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, without doubt.
The makers
Without
community is like a big family, but all the emergency service, especially the ambulance service, you know, with the Green family, we all pull together and
Yeah.
help each other. And if I can use my hobby in somehow to help them, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. So what at Christmas? Do you does the Green family become the Green Party?
So we have obviously
Wait, no.
the Christmas do.
We're not getting into politics, all right?
No.
Time and place, gentlemen. Let's just leave that aside.
The ambulances do get decorated as well. You've got to be in the festive spirit. So a lot of people decorate the ambulances.
I've only really seen the inside of them.
You want to send this thing askew, then yeah, we could go there, but I don't think we want to.
So, Scott, is there any projects that you've made that would kind of stand out for you that you're kind of particularly proud of?
Yeah. So, and I did it the first time I've ever done it, and I did it live on YouTube over 2, and that was the skeleton clock. I've had several people look at it and offer me, or the highest someone's offered me at the moment is 250 quid for it. It's not for sale. It's a project I've wanted to do for a long time. I'd seen it in a Woodturners magazine. I bought the kit at Axminster 2 years ago. It's sat in the cupboards. This cupboard here was like just full of project stuff. And it's something I wanted to do. It's now pride of place in my display cabinet, and that's where it will stay.
£110 from Dale. Wow.
Dale, you are the man. 110 pounds from Dale.
Thank
For
you.
that old Jamie. And
if anyone wants to see it, just let me know, and I'll hold the bowl back up.
I tell you what's really messing me up is I'm writing these numbers down and keeping track of it. I'm not used to writing the pound symbol. So I've got to do this kind of backwards S thing with a flat bottom and a line through the middle, and then all right. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I'm used to doing an S with 2 lines, and it's like
I just cross out an S.
You bastards make it difficult. Okay.
We had it first. Just saying. Come on, Pete.
I don't think I've ever written the $sign. I might have to do it just for the hell of it.
I'm trying. It's like the easiest thing in the world, but I'm going like I have to actually physically, artistically go. And then there's the line, and then
I'm going to use my iBoard.
It makes change you made an iBoard because normally it's I paid.
Oh. Mine just ends up looking
like an S in it with it's just an S with lines through it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But mine ends up my pound sign ends up looking like half of a skeleton skull. You know, it's like anyway. All right, so that's frivolous. I apologize. Anyway.
Did you say earlier on that Mr. Pugh or Andy Pugh, the Cube?
He did have a question, and Andy, and this kind of goes back to the origin story. So, but I mean, Chris, if you want to elaborate, feel free. Andy's question was that he had, he said, I'd be interested to know if Scott did any sort of making as a kid or prior to taking it up as wood turning? Did you do anything prior to that, or what led you up to basically deciding and to get drunk and buy a lathe? I mean, was there anything that you had? Was there anything that you had done previously that kind of led you along that path? Oh my God, Chris from Dragon Tales, Jake, 125 pounds.
Oh, he's in the US.
Yeah,
Jake,
Just saying.
Jake will have to come and pick it up when he comes over because Jake's coming over soon.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, so as a kid, you know, where I grew up, there was a factory estate, so we used to go and nick the pallets and build camps out of them. And then before I got serious, I built this shed, and it was just a shed at the time. And I used to mess around making stuff. I made the planters for the garden or a bit of trellis here and there. And I don't know why wood turning come into it. We were just absolutely hammered one New Year's Eve and went, let's do it.
All right. Well, Jamie, I got to ask a question. And is to keep things fair. Can Jake bid on this?
Yeah, because Jake's coming over to the UK soon, so he can pick it up. He's actually staying with me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just because initially we said it was only for the UK, but I mean, if Jake's coming over there and he's going to pick it up, then he'll be in the UK and there won't be any shipping involved. Is that we're talking about the shipping? That's the problem. Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's a problem with shipping.
Okay.
It's quite a hefty lump of sycamore, so the shipping will just take away the giving of the money. Otherwise, I'd rather give that money myself to the thing.
Well, I
certainly pay that amount of shipping, but since Jake's coming over, he can actually pick up and take it home himself.
Okay. Well, I certainly wasn't looking to discard the highest bid we've had. I just wanted to make sure that was kosher with everybody. That's okay. All right. So Jake coming over from the US to the UK is going to be picking up that bull currently for 125 pounds, unless we get something more.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't it be a shame to see a friggin' Yank outspend a Brit to help a British family?
A Yank spending British money.
There we go.
No, that's Chris. 130 pounds from Chris from Dragon Tales. All right, buddy. That's my man. Way to uphold that British spirit.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be a shame if a Texan got outbid? No one likes to see that.
$20 million. That'll be the next thing.
$1 million. Yeah. Chris, that's awesome. Jake, just calm the hell down.
Jake just said, "Hold up."
Hold up. He's counting the coppers.
Yeah. He's just gone out to stick to his oil farm.
Oh. Well, you know what? It's all, this is good fun and everything, but I mean, you folks are donating to a good cause because obviously, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's what this is about. So we've actually never done an auction on the show before, so this is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
And Chris, I'm happy that we can help the people out that we're helping out today. I think it's an honor for us to do this for you. So it really is.
Jake just bought some resin. Dang it! Jake's counting the coins in his tables. They're covered.
Well, Jake, trust me, I know what it costs to fly from the US to the UK, so I'm surprised you have any money left over. Because that's not a cheap trip. I don't mind telling you.
Oh dear.
Well, we got 15 minutes left, boys. I mean, Jamie, do you want to sing your song or do you want to continue on a little bit more?
Yeah, I can go and sing that song.
All right. Well, just give the rest of us time to get our headphones off before you do that. Go. Are you ready?
Them against me?
No, not at all. But please go ahead.
All right.
Jamie's page.
Thank you.
Right. So just a quick one, really. Stickers. If you need any stickers, then you can go to Makers International Podcast website, which is makersinternationalpodcast.com. go to the tab that says stickers, and you click on the picture in there. It will take you to a website. You fill in all your details, and you get £20 off at checkout. If it's a one email, one use kind of deal. So once you've done that, then yeah, if you've used that email before, then just set up another email. Secondly, I want to give a shout out. This isn't my official shout out, but I just want to give a quick mention to Nathan, the Ramsdale Sherman. At the moment, he's selling branding irons. They're real good quality, real cheap.
Hang on.
Scott is. They're real cheap, real good quality. There you go.
Nice.
For everybody watching the audio only version of the podcast, Scott's showing his branding iron. So come over to YouTube and hit subscribe.
We don't need that. We really don't.
Right.
Go ahead.
So so hit him up on Ramsdale Sherman over on Instagram. I believe he's got a Facebook page as well. And go and order one of his branding irons. He's got a long list of people asking for them at the moment, so get in there quick. Right, so on to my actual shout out. My shout out goes to Daryl from Dreadnought Woodshop. This week he made a pretty simple project, but it came out real nice. He basically made a coloured pencil pendant. And it came out real nice. So yeah, it was just that
did turn out nice. I have to rewatch that to see how he finished it. He finished that really well.
I think he finished it with CA glue. I'm not entirely sure, but there was actually another thing I wanted to mention as well for Jamie's page.
Not twice.
It was an anniversary for Carl and Robin this weekend, so I want to say congratulations to them too as well.
Congratulations, guys. How many years do you know, Jeremy?
I have no idea.
Okay. Happy first anniversary, Carl and Robin.
Yeah, a few.
Did a lovely piece for Robin.
Yeah. The
lovely little sculpture.
Wooden form, the wooden form, yeah.
I can't even say, how do you put up with each other, because they're both just fantastic people. It's obvious.
Is currently at £130, Dale.
£130 is the winning bid. If we're going to close the bidding now, and that would be.
We'll keep it going.
Okay. But hey, Jamie, we got like 12 minutes left, so go ahead. But currently, Chris of Dragon's Tail Turnings is currently the highest bidder at £130. So if somebody wants to chip in more than that,
I'm sure I will.
Not only for a good cause, but for a pretty freaking killer bowl that actually I'm impressed with that Jamie made. And let's be honest, for me to say that, that means something. Because I love Jamie, but I'm just never going to give him credit for anything. But that is actually pretty. That's actually pretty cool. All right, Andy, do you have something that you want to give some love to this week?
I certainly do, if she'd let me. No, only joking. I don't mean that.
Wait a minute, where's my wife? Hold on.
Oh, there she is. Not like that.
Okay. Sorry.
It would be the Real Salvage sister. Her name's Carys Williams. She used to be on TV. I think she still does a bit of TV every now and then. She basically works with salvage materials. She's a welder. She does loads of fantastic little projects and stuff. Mainly on Instagram. She is on TV, obviously, so you might be able to find her on. I think it's some of the BBC stuff that she did. But she's a lovely lady. She actually got her account hacked on Instagram.
Oh, you're kidding.
She did have 42,000 followers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them. And obviously she's had to start all over again. She is such a lovely personality. She really is lovely. And she's very much about getting people, teaching people, showing people how to do stuff. And that's amazing. The stuff that she pumps out is just brilliant.
Awesome.
So yeah,
What's her name
Carys
again?
Williams, the real salvage sister.
The Real Salvage Sister. Awesome.
Mhm.
So if you're on Instagram, go check her out. Scott, what do you got?
Cool. I've got a couple of shout outs if that's all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Go for it.
is it also all right? As we're raising money for Ian, to mention the t-shirts that I've been doing as a bit of fun. We've been doing the Fingers Club t-shirts.
Yeah.
And
If you send me a link,
all the
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, all the profit from them is going to the Just Giving page as well. Actually, I should be able. Can I put the link in the chat or not? Or do I
No,
need to send it to you?
you can't, mate. No, you can't.
Okay.
So I've just posted the Just Giving page as well.
Yeah,
Right,
just
bear with me. I'll send that.
yeah.
So my shout outs. First one has got to be to the guy sitting. Hang on, work this out. That side of me,
There you go.
Mr. Andy Hill. Andy's work is awesome. You know, I'm fortunate enough. I own one of his seahorses, but go and check him out. The work he is putting out, his samurais, his carvings is fantastic. And I feel that he needs some more love, guys. I don't think that he's getting the recognition that his work deserves.
I agree.
So
100%. I can't
go
agree
and
with
check
that.
out Andy.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, he does some wizardry over there. He's like Harry Potter with a beard.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? He looks
Wouldn't
more
that
like
be Dumbledore?
you look more like a Gandalf to me. You know, it's
Yeah.
You shall not pass.
you shall not pass. Boom.
My second shout out is to someone that's fairly new to the community. A lot of people have got to know him and saw his invade and have got to know his story. Mark, the gentleman wood turner.
Yes. Good shout.
Mhm.
I feel that he needs some more subscribers, some more credit for the work he was doing. We all look at Chris Fisher's inspirational story. Mark has overcome some horrible illnesses. You know, he's had multiple operations. Left side of his body he can't feel because the surgeon severed a nerve, but he still gets in that workshop. He still turns, and he's putting out some really good videos with some really good projects. I know he's using it for his rehabilitation, but some of the stuff he's doing, and before he was a master knifesman or a bladesmith, he can't do that now because of his disability. But what he's doing on the lathe is fantastic. So go and check out Mark.
And like Dale said, he loves his whiskey.
Yeah.
Scott, let me ask you a question because I want to make sure I include this. Is his channel called Mark the Gentleman Wood Turner?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the entire title. So if you have the opportunity to go check him out, go check him out because I certainly will. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, awesome bloke.
I certainly will.
Nice guy.
And
I'm going to put a link to Scott's t-shirt campaign for the Fingers Club. So, do you want to explain what the Fingers Club is, Scott?
Yeah, so I've got a really naff one on. So the Fingers Club is for anyone, any craft. It doesn't have to be wood turning. That injures their hands whilst doing a live or a video. It's a bit of fun. I know, in all seriousness, you know, when we're in the workshops, we've got to take safety seriously and take all precautions. But accidents happen. You know, even the best turners out there. So, like Wayne the other day had an accident, ended up with a skew in his hand. Anna B today, I believe, had an accident. Hope she's okay. So it was a bit of fun. I'd been working on a t-shirt for ages. The design's a bit naff. This is the original. They're now come on colour t-shirts. Thanks to JP and Dale, they sorted out the image. So you can now get that on any colour t-shirt. But I think £2.50 from one of those t-shirts goes to Ian's family.
Awesome.
Nice. Right, so it's time to wrap up this auction. What was the was it
I think we're at 130 at the moment.
Well, and
Yeah.
we can let this go for a couple seconds, but the last bid we had was from Chris from Dragon Sales. Was 130 pounds for that bull to go to the charity.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, I think we're over time. If you want to wrap this thing
Yeah,
up,
right. So
if there
at the
are any
moment,
questions,
it stands at £135 and 1p, and to Emma Dragontails.
all right. So the auction is closed. Am I correct?
Yeah, in 3, 2, 1, closed. So
Emma, you won it.
Emma, thank you very much.
Okay.
And thank you
All good.
everyone that's bidded tonight. That's a fantastic amount. And Jamie, thank you for making it.
No worries, mate. Anytime. If anyone wants to see how I made it, there is a video. So if you want to make your own.
I love you guys. I just want to tell you that I do love you. I really do.
I'm just going to keep quiet in the corner.
Andy, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to be such a jerk.
Hey, you be a jerk as much as you like, mate. I can be equally as jerky if you wish.
No, that's cool. I was just trying to speak.
But no, you're all
Yeah,
good. You're all good.
no,
You're all good.
Oh my God! Well done, Emma. Well done, Emma, and
Yeah.
Chris, and Dale, and everybody else who bid on that. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
But Emma,
brilliant.
congrats,
Nice.
you won.
Yeah, well done. Right, I guess it's time to wrap this show up for the evening. This is 4 minutes over, so thanks to everybody out in the chat. Thanks to everyone who bidded. Thanks to Andy and Scott and Chris for being you, because we love you too. For everyone else that didn't show up, I guess what we'll say love about that. So take it easy, everybody.
Have a great week, everyone.
Have a good
See you later.